It's Thursday evening. You've just finished your 90-minute practice session at the driving range and you feel like you've finally worked it out. Those last 20 drives you just hit, not one of them would have missed the fairway. You're going to turn up on the weekend. You're going to be a whole new golfer. You're finally going to break 90. Everything is looking good. Saturday, in the clubhouse, after the round, questioning why you even bother practicing, because the moment you stood on the first tee, everything that happened Thursday night went out the window and the old you came back and nothing changed. And the worst part is you've got no idea why, and you're even more frustrated because all that practice seems to be making you worse, or at best not getting you anywhere. So what's the real problem? Let me give you a little analogy. Tigers that are grown up in a zoo do not survive out in the jungle. So they don't put them in the jungle. Why? Because everything they've been brought up with is all conditioned and there's no threats, and they get given food every day. They don't have to go hunting for it or anything. And all of a sudden they throw them out in the jungle and they've got to go and find the food themselves, and they've got to deal with all the problems that a jungle has. And that is the analogy I'm going to give you about the problem with the driving range, the zoo, and the golf course, the jungle. So what I've seen in my 30 plus years of being involved in this game, and including doing it myself for a long period of time, was I was training in the zoo, hoping for amazing results in the jungle. So the practice that I see people do at a driving range 95% of the time, every single day when I go to Emerald Lakes and I start my coaching day there, is the biggest waste of time if they want to play better golf on the golf course. Now, if they want to feel better at the driving range, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. But if they want to get better on the golf course on Saturday in front of their mates, under pressure, in the competition, in the club championships, then they need to start replicating the things that happen on the golf course when they do their training. And it looks completely different to what most people are doing. So what's the biggest problem there? What's the big mismatch? Because you go to the driving range, it looks a little bit like golf. You know, you got golf clubs, hitting golf balls. Great. But that's about where it finishes. Let's just imagine the driving range. You've got perfect mat, perfect lie, hitting in the same direction every time. Got a mat that you can line up to, same direction every time. You've got the same club in your hand, probably for 20, 30, maybe sometimes I see 100 shots in a row just with driver, because that's what someone needs to work on. And nothing really changes too much. You hit a bad one, you don't have to go and find it or go and buy another golf ball or look for it in the bush. You just hit another one. You just ride it off and away you go. And you compare that to the golf course, and on the Saturday morning, not warmed up all that properly. You haven't hit many balls beforehand. You're standing there on the first tee. It's club championship, so there's consequence. You want to try and make the match play or whatever it is, or even win it. Your mates are standing there watching you, plus the 20 other people waiting on the first tee, and probably people looking in the clubhouse as well that you think are all watching you too. The wind's in your face, whereas at the driving range it was down breeze, and all of a sudden it's cold and it's not warm like it was the other night. And there's a whole bunch of things. And you know this. This is golf. We play golf in an ever-changing environment, and we're also changing every single day because we're human beings. You know, you might have done a whole bunch of gardening that morning and come out in the afternoon and you're all sore, or you might be dehydrated from being hungover from the night before. Whatever it is, there's a whole bunch of things we've got to deal with on every single day and every single shot. So this is the problem between the driving range and the golf course. They're very different. So the block practice that most people do at a driving range has been proven by a Dr. Bjork. Basically, he's one of the world's leading researchers in motor learning. And basically what you can see from the research that he's done, and you can have a look at it, is that block practice has its place if you're initially learning a movement pattern. But if you're wanting to go and play a game of golf, which is a problem-solving sport, but all you've done is the same thing over and over and over again, you're not going to transfer that skill to the golf course in this changing environment all the time very well at all. And the research shows that. But if you actually train in a way where you have a different club, a different target, you have some consequence and all these kinds of things that are in there, which are similar to golf, you have some problem solving that you have to do in every single shot. There's a few things that happen. Number one, your practice looks uglier and feels worse. You won't walk away with this false confidence, or an illusion of competence is what Dr. Bjork called it. So what you'll have is you'll feel a bit off, like you've been pushing yourself, and it's not as good in training. But when you go to the golf course, you'll actually find you perform better. You have more solutions to these problems. And so what I relate that to is it's a bit like if you go to the gym, right? Now, if I went to the gym and just started picking up a 1 kilo weight and doing bicep curls, I probably am not going to build up my muscles because my body doesn't have to adapt. It finds it very easy. The current size of my muscles is going to stay the same. It doesn't need to make any bigger muscle because it doesn't need to lift anything heavier. Now, if I incrementally every day start to go to 2 kilos and 3 and 4 and 5, and I do this over weeks and months and years, all of a sudden my body every single day has to adapt to more challenge. Right. And I get 20 kilos and all of a sudden this is like really hard and challenging. I can only do a few of them. But all of a sudden, if I have to go and lift 10 kilos, it's much easier again. All right. So that's the way our brains will work in golf as well, is if you're not pushing yourself constantly in training, mentally, physically, the whole thing, mostly it's the mental side and how you react to bad shots, good shots, do you learn from them, and training the problem-solving process, then you're not actually going to be able to do that better on the golf course, and you're not getting ready for that environment. There's a study in the Journal of Sports Science that went even further, that said that those that do more variable and game-like training practice as opposed to just block practice will transfer their skills to the environment that they're playing in at a 40% higher rate, and they will retain that for longer. So that is some of the research behind it. And I've known that in my own career, just watching how much better I got in the golf course when I practiced with much more purpose. And the purpose being not perfecting golf swings and hitting perfect golf shots at the range, but challenging myself to solve problems better. And therefore I can go on the golf course and probably not feel all that great about hitting great golf shots, but score really well. So if that's your priority, then that's how you got to practice. The final thing I'll say, one of the biggest problems is that if you're hitting off a perfect lie, perfect situation every single time, same thing all the time, the number one thing that you are doing and that you're removing and that is causing the biggest problem as to why you can't take that form out on a golf course is you're removing the problem solving part of the game altogether. If you've got the same club, you don't have to worry about that. Same target, don't have to worry about that. No consequence left or right, no water, no out of bounds, don't have to worry about that. Doesn't matter if I hit a bad one now, I'll just pull out another one and hit another bad one. Doesn't matter, I'll pull out another one. Oh, there's a good one. I'm good again now. Like, none of that happens on the golf course. You hit a bad shot on the golf course, you got to go and find it. It might be out of bounds. You have to hit it again. You got to deal with that anger and frustration. Then you go and hit that. Now all of a sudden you change direction. You've got a 7-iron in your hand instead of a driver. You hit that shot. Now you're hitting a chip shot instead of a 7-iron or a driver, and then you're hitting a putt or a bunker shot, and we're getting different shots every single time. So the skill of playing golf is so different to just hitting balls at the range, and it is a skill, and you can get better at it, and that's the exciting part. So I have a system, and you can check this out. I've got a whole series on it. It's called a REPAR system, right? And what it is, it's helping you to get a system together to help you problem solve the shot in front of you again and again and again and again, and keep doing that on every single shot. Now, we talk about that all the time in sports. You've got to be in the present moment, just hit the shot in front of you. But how do you do it? Well, first of all, you need a risk assessment. You've got to assess the environment of that particular shot. You've got to make your plan. You then stand up and do it, which is a pretty automatic part of it. And then you review it so you can learn for next time. And maybe you want to do the same thing again because it was a great result, or maybe it wants to be different and you learn once again a different solution to a different problem. And I say this to people all the time. The reason I'm a golf pro is I've had more problems in front of me in golf than most people have even thought about. And I've found solutions to them over making a lot of mistakes over a lot of time and learning from every single one of them and trying to get better and better and better at that. And that's the beauty of mastery of golf, is that none of us will ever get good enough at it. But whatever level you're at, if you start paying attention to it more, you will get better at it. So become a better problem solver. So check out my playlist. I'll put the link up here somewhere, and you can go and check that out first. And then if you are interested in coming and seeing me and work out what this looks like in the real world and maybe what your problems are, the biggest ones to solve, maybe you could book in for a Play with a Pro experience with me, and we can go, right, here's the big picture of your golf game. The good stuff, the bad stuff, these are the stuff we should be working on straight away to help you become a better problem solver. So check out this video and look out for one that I'm going to have in the future, where I'm going to take a 95 plus shooter out on the golf course and show you what this looks like in real application and what a Play with a Pro experience looks like on the course, where we can start helping some like better decisions out there, become a better problem solver like straight away, and then we can help them work on their skills later on. Cheers.